Welcome to Monetize Your Passion, the podcast for moms looking to make money from their passions while making a positive impact in the lives of others. I'm Tara Lon, content strategist and certified life coach. I want to help you leverage the power of content creation, organic marketing, and goal setting so you can turn your God-led passion and purpose into profit. My prayer is that you'll find inspiration from God, encouragement, and practical ways to monetize your passion. Hello and welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do a case study on a brand that I think is kicking butt in the content marketing world. They are doing things so well. I always use them as an example when I'm talking to clients or future clients. And I'm just going to share some of the strategies based on what I see that they're doing and how they're reaching millions of people. And that brand is Focus on the Family. So I'm just going to read Focus on the Family's mission. So Focus on the Family's mission is to be led by the Holy Spirit in sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ with as many people as possible by nurturing and affirming the God-ordained institution of the family and proclaiming biblical truths worldwide. So Focus on the Family, they do this through their radio shows, podcasts, websites, social media outreach, conferences, marriage intensives, magazines, books, counselings, plus many more. But we're just going to focus on a few long format platforms and social media platforms that I think they're dominating in because I think they are a great example. And I'm going to share how they're doing that and what I see as part of their content strategy in bringing millions of people to their platform. They, just for their audio podcast alone, they get 38 million downloads a year. That's just for their audio podcast, but they have many different platforms that they're on. And I just think they're using content marketing brilliantly. So I'm just going to go through this with you just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Because I talk about often how the power of having a long format platform is key because you can bring more people to your platform. And if you use search engine optimization well, you can bring even more people to your platform. And I believe that is what they're doing. That's why they're able to just take hold of their segment of the market in a powerful way. They are literally reaching families all across the globe. So let's just start with their long format platforms that they're on. So first of all, they do have a blog. So if you go to their website, so their focus is on families. That's why they're called Focus on the Family. And they're trying to reach every person in that family. Their tagline is helping families thrive in Christ. So for example, if you go to their website, if you look at their blog, they have so many different categories. They have a marriage category. And even within that marriage category, they have something about saving my marriage, the marriage ministry, events for couples. They also have a parenting category, and these are all blogs that they do. So imagine someone searching on Google, how to help my marriage in this stage of my life, or how to help my child. They dominate with regard to focusing on the family. So for example, parenting, you can go to their website and let's say you want to learn about parenting from a different stage of life. They have learn about age and stage. For example, let's say you have teens. They have a section just for teenagers. They have a section just for pre-tweens or teens. They have a section for preschool. You can go to faith, for example. That's another section on their blog. And there's things for pastors and there's things for different segments if you want to learn more about your faith. They have things about culture, TV shows, resources, all different things on their blog where someone can literally search something on Google. Like I just did a test on this. I searched up sibling rivalry Christian. That's what I put as the keywords. And they were like the second website to come up. So when I say they dominate, they really do dominate. So that's just their blog. So if you go to their podcast, I'm just going to scroll through. I'm on their website and I'm going to see what shows they offer. I'm going to look at what podcasts they offer because this is another long format platform where you can reach more people. So when I go to podcasts, for example, so under podcasts, they have over 20 podcasts, different podcasts. They have podcasts about marriage, parenting. They have podcasts about students, pornography and help with that. So they have different podcasts even so they can reach as many people as possible. Remember, their mission is focusing on the family and reaching as many people for Jesus as they can around the world. So they're dominating even with podcasts. As I mentioned earlier, they have 38 million downloads just per year. So that's the podcast. So they have a blog, a podcast. Let's see their YouTube channel. So for their YouTube channel alone, they have 620,000 subscribers for Focus on the Family. But underneath Focus on the Family, they also have featured channels where they talk about Focus on the Family parenting, Focus on the Family marriage, plus other things that are targeting a specific segment of their market. So again, this is another area where they are dominating on a long format platform, and they're reaching so many people on their YouTube channel as well. So they have a blog, a podcast, and a YouTube channel, which are 3 platforms that I talk about, because if you're trying to reach as many people as you can, you definitely need a long format platform to do that, because you can say more on those platforms. You can reach more people. And these platforms allow you to use search engine optimization so you can reach even more people, because you can put it on evergreen, like the content that you produce. You can produce evergreen content where it's relevant a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. And that's the power of being on a long format platform. And again, Focus on the Family is dominating in their niche. So these are just 3 popular long format platforms that they're on. They're also on social media. So I'm going to just give you a little stats on their social media and how I think they're also doing that well. So I'm going to go to their main page to see which social media platforms they are on. Let me just go to the bottom of their page. It's showing that they're on Facebook, X. We already looked at YouTube, which you can create long format content and also short format content on YouTube. They're also on Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. So let's look at their Facebook. On Facebook, they have over 3 million followers. And I'm sure they have dedicated employees who are managing their different social media channels. Okay, let's look at their Instagram. And I think they're doing their Instagram so well. You can tell that they're using their themes very nicely. They get a lot of engagement. On here, they're speaking to parents. They're speaking to married couples. They're talking about issues that are happening in life, just in general, cultural issues, all types of things. So you can tell that there's themes to their different platforms. Their audience is very engaged on their platforms. So as I mentioned, they have Facebook, they have X, Instagram. They're on LinkedIn. So let's look at their LinkedIn. They have a dedicated page on LinkedIn. They also post on LinkedIn. They post blog posts, and you can tell that they repurpose their content as well, which I also think is a great strategy to create content. Let's say it's on your blog or your podcast or YouTube. You repurpose it on these platforms where you can just show a smaller piece of what you created. And that can bring people to your long format platforms so they can engage and stay and just take in even more of your content. All right, so when I go to their Pinterest page, this is very interesting. They have over 350,000 views just on their Pinterest page. And I think Pinterest is a wonderful app or social media. I don't know if it's even considered social media, but I'll just call it social media. I think Pinterest is a great platform to showcase your long format content, because you can promote your blog or your podcast or your YouTube channel. You can pin it on your Pinterest page that you've created, and then you can point people back to the link to one of those platforms. And that is what Focus on the Family does beautifully. They also point people to something called Adventures in Odyssey, which is, I don't know if this is something new, but it says it's the #1 source for kids audio entertainment. And this is actually something that you can join. There's a fee for this. So you see how they're pointing people to something, and that's one way to monetize. You can point them to a platform for a service that you offer. And that's a great way to monetize, because you've already captured this audience. You've already built trust with them. And now if you want to sell something to them, they're already invested in your brand. This is a great way for you to show them or tell them what you have to offer. And Focus on the Family, I believe they're nonprofit. They do also on their main page, they take donations. But again, this is just an example of a brand that on several levels have up-leveled their content management. And I think they're doing it so great because there's a strategy behind it. Like if you go to every one of their platforms, it's not just haphazard. It's not just producing content just to produce it. There is a strategy behind it, and it's all related to their main theme, which seems to be to point families to Jesus. That is their main thing, is to point families to Jesus. And that's every part of the family. And it looks like they are doing that so well. And it's paying off because there's millions of people that are going to their platform for all the content that they're producing. And I think this is just a good example. So if you get a moment, I would encourage you to go to focusonthefamily.com just to see what they're about, see some of the content that they're producing, and see how they're doing it. Obviously, they're huge and they have people helping them. And, we're small businesses, but this is still an example, a great example of a company doing it well with regard to their content strategy. So I know this episode was a little different, but hopefully you can see how a company or a brand can use content to bring people to their bottom line. So if you're listening and you really need help with your content marketing strategy, then feel free to fill out the coaching application in the show notes, and let's see if we're a good fit for working together. I can help you niche down. I can help you narrow down your ideal customer. I can help you decide on the best platforms to show up on, plus more. So again, if you feel like that is something that can be helpful for you, fill out the coaching application and let's see if we're a good fit for working together. Thank you so much for listening today. If you know of another mom who could use this episode, can you please do me a favor and share this with her? As you know, my platform is meant to be a blessing to mothers, so any support from you would be so appreciated. Until next time.